Guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Saturday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Saturday, guys. Happy Saturday morning. I want to share this download with you guys really quickly. You have outgrown it. You have outgrown it. You have outgrown it. And I've caught on to Dr. Umar repeating everything 3 times. This word is definitely not for everyone, but if it is for you, it will be clear as day. So you have outgrown it. There's no longer a desire for it. In fact, you're just sticking with it because you don't have the next direction, or you may have the direction but not the resources yet. God may have made the next step to you very clear, or maybe he hasn't made it clear to you yet, but you feel there's a prompting in your spirit that this thing is done. This season is over. You literally have outgrown it. I want to encourage you, if that is you, please, 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 still move in a spirit of excellence. Even though you may be turned off from it, again, outgrown it, no longer desire it, you still have to move in a posture of excellence because you're still being monitored. Many of you guys are in a season where you're being accelerated to larger blessings. You have maintained the things that God have allowed you to steward. You may have not been perfect. In fact, you weren't perfect, but you did things to the best of your abilities, and anytime you were convicted to do something that you weren't doing correctly, you got on it. So again, you weren't perfect, but God saw your heart posture in this place. In fact, God had promised you more. So you always knew that this wasn't it, and you knew eventually you would be blessed with more, but you just know you needed to steward it, and he would watch you really build your character. This is why you went through a lot of tests in this season, just to prove that you are ready for what's next. Remember, purpose fulfills you. A person, a place, or a thing cannot fulfill you. Purpose fulfills you. I think someone sent me a link it was a video of Will Smith talking just recently about how he's in this very, very scary place because he now realized that there's no amount of money in the world that can make him happy. His kids can't make him happy. His wife can't make him happy. He's now realizing that it is literally an internal, it's an internal thing. And there were many people who said, in addition to internal, it's God, it's Jesus, point blank period. It doesn't matter how much money you have. There is nothing in this world, this physical world, that can fulfill you. And many people really believe that. And he made a statement something like, he wished everyone had a chance to be multimillionaires or billionaires so they can really come to that conclusion versus trying to only get rich, right? Because nothing can fulfill you. All that money, most celebrities are not happy. Most celebrities are not happy. There's a void in their lives if they don't know God. Everything else is I don't even know why I'm going here. Somebody must need to hear this. Everything else is literally a temporary happiness. So you think, right? You get the thing that you always thought you wanted, or you thought when you was a child, when you get this particular car or this particular house, it's going to make you happy or whatever. And now you're realizing that it doesn't make you happy. It made you happy temporary. Now you're turned off from the marriage. Now you want another car. Now you want, it's literally a rat race, a never ending cycle. It's a hamster wheel, right? I went left there. I don't know why, but maybe somebody is on this get rich fix and you're thinking that, this stuff is going to make you happy. In this world, it's not. Only if you know God. So I went left, but I was initially going to say, The reason why a lot of you do not feel fulfilled in this current season is because that assignment has now come to an end. Again, even though you may still be occupying it until you get your next instructions, spiritually you feel that it has come to an end. You're just there by obedience and waiting on God. But spiritually, you know in your spirit, this thing has come to an end, and it's now time for you to graduate to more. So remember, purpose is what fulfills you. Your calling is what fulfills you. So because you're not really spiritually fulfilled right now, because again, this thing is coming to an end, you're about to advance. This is why you feel that sense of depletion, that sense of loneliness, that sense of what's next, the sense of something is missing. But the enemy will literally try to make you think that thing is missing is a person, is a place, is a thing. No, it's the desire of what's next. What's next, God? Where am I going? Where are you moving me to? What are you blessing me? What am I supposed to do with the blessing? Like, that's what you're waiting on to be fulfilled. Not a person, not a place, or not a thing. It's the next assignment. Remember, your purpose stays the same, but your assignment can change. Meaning, however God uses your purpose, your calling, however God uses you, right? That is like, okay, you're a server, or you're a speaker, or you're a this, or you're a that. That's your purpose. That's how God uses you. But your calling, what you're called to, can change in different seasons, but your purpose remains the same. So a lot of you are literally going to be elevated and shifted. This is why you've outgrown many of the people in your circle. You're trying to figure out why is there a void with so many people when there has been nothing that has happened. Like, there's no strife, there's no tension, there's no animosity, but there's not a fulfillment with certain relationships. It's because that season and those people who occupy that season is now coming to an end. So this can also be a reason why you're feeling lonely, because the people may still be physically there in your presence, but spiritually you've outgrown it. So now you feel like, well, I don't have people. I'm lonely because I don't have people in my life. No, you may have people in your life. You're lonely because you've outgrown that relationship. And loyalty may be keeping you there, or again, just you don't have the next direction or the okay to move just yet. So that loneliness is a sense of, well, I don't even have people. Well, you're going to have people at the next level. Wherever you're going, there are going to be people there. And remember, when God, anytime God brings people into your life, there's an instant spiritual connection. So it's not even that long drawn out process of trying to get to know somebody. Can I trust this person? I have to watch you for a while. You know, that when God brings it together, there's a peace. This is why it's important to let God bring people into your life versus us going out here to seeking who may look good on paper or who we think this, that, and the third. When God brings your soul tribe, when God brings your purpose partner and your destiny partners, these things come together and they click spiritually instantly. So don't try to force these old relationships to come back, because they're just not going to work. Once God shuts the door, that door is closed. But God is very gentle. So this is why you'll realize that it kind of happened over time. You just didn't wake up overnight and says, I no longer have a desire for you. You no longer fulfill me. I don't see how you fit into my life any longer. There's no reciprocity. I feel like you only pull, but you don't pour. Where now you have a desire for reciprocity. You literally have a desire for reciprocity, even if you are a server. If you're a server by purpose, that's just your whole nature, right? You love serving people. You love helping people. That's literally a gift. But now some of you will feel like you are now ready for reciprocity, right? The yin and the yang. I got you, you got me. I pour into you, you pour into me. No dead weights. No dead weights. So if you're feeling like, again, you are in a season where you feel like, and so many people have emailed me in regards to this sense of loneliness, this sense of despair, sense of feeling directionless, sense of feeling lost. And one of you guys, since you can comment if you want to, I don't ever call names, but you can comment if you want to. And you said that you feel this sense of directionless and despair, but it's so confusing to you because you've never experienced this in your life. You've always been fulfilled with purpose, with calling, things like that. And again, that's because these seasons for some people, and after reading your email, it sounds like it, of course, but that's between you and God, of course. You've never experienced a season where God is now shifting your direction with purpose. Because you can be in a season where you're tapped into purpose and calling, and you're called to a particular area, particular thing, particular person for a very, very long time. So if you're not careful, that then becomes your identity. You are now identifying yourself as a lawyer, as a wife, as a husband, and not saying anything is wrong with that, but I'm speaking about your identity, your purpose, and your calling. You're more than just a mother. You're more than just a husband. You're more than just a barber. There's more to it. Now, of course, many times, or not many times, but sometimes your career may be tied in some. I know mine is, but I also know. Never mind. Your career may be tied in to your purpose and your calling. So when you've been doing something for a very long time, which is part of your purpose and your calling, when God starts to shift and move you out of a season to elevate you now to more a grand scale, because you've proven yourself here, you've stewarded things well, it's time to move on, and God now starts shutting that door and drying certain things up, you will feel like you're losing your identity because you've identified yourself as your profession, as your career, as your stay-at-home mom title. When in reality, he's now moving you and elevating you to a more grand purpose where he will get the glory. People will see, like, this is not even about you. It's to the point of, oh, that has to be God, because there's no way in the world it can make logical sense. There's no way in the world they saw you at one level on yesterday, and now when they turn their TV on, you're somewhere across the world with your face being flashed upon, right? That divorce that happened, and you maybe relocated because people were making fun of you about the divorce, or your own pride, no shame, and you feel like you were a failure, because a lot of people feel like they failed when a divorce happened, and now you're trying to duck and dodge people when you hear that people's talking about you. And next week, right, there's pictures all over social media, you and your new spouse. You're on TV with you and your new spouse. So it's about God getting the glory. So these same people who laughed, these same people who doubted you, these same people who thought you would never, right? So when it happens, they know that it's God. Like, this has to be God. This has to be God, right? So really, that's what a lot of you guys are feeling. I wanted to share that. It was very, very, very profound in my spirit to share that. Again, many of you are literally in a season where your current assignments, your current callings, not your purpose, your current callings are coming to an end, and have come to an end, and that loneliness and that emptiness and that feeling of despair and directionless that you're feeling is because you are waiting on God to give you the next. So stop trying to go back and trying to fit pieces into a puzzle by trying to go and attempt to reconcile relationships or old jobs or old this or old that. Just let God do what God do, right? Just let it fall, because you'll realize too that when God does this, it's very graceful. It's kind of like whatever is dissipating, again, there's no strife, there's no animosity. It's just something that's happening naturally. It's a natural flow of things falling off of you. Many of you guys are experiencing the ego death. Of course, with the ego death. Now, I don't know. Some people say that's new age speaking. I'm not even sure if I'm honest with you, because someone said that to me the other day that they were going through an ego death, and I'm like, what is that? And in my mind, that's just God just humbling you. Right? Sometimes God got to snatch everything from you to humble you so you can really get on the path that he's on. That's what I consider to be the ego death. But I kind of was looking up a few things when they said that. But a lot of people are really, if you want to call it ego death, again, I don't know if it's new age or whatever, or you can, just like myself, you're in a season where God literally snatches the rug, including your edges, where you lose everything that you yourself attempted to create. That can be that marriage, that job, that wherever you chose to live, you chose to do, like you created everything yourself and God was never a part of that. But now God needs you to get on the path that he needs you to be on, your purpose and your calling versus this, that, and the third. So now he snatches everything. So now you have no choice but to be humble, right? You have no choice but to be humble. So now it's about getting you on that path that you've always been designed to be on. Or maybe just it's time in this season. You may have been on the right path before, but now is a time where he needs to shift you. So allow him to shift you without trying to hold on to everything like a wild cat. It's a very, very, very uncomfortable feeling. But you have to trust the process. So everything that you're yearning now for and you think you're lacking is going to be where you're going times 5.